Alright guys, so the big news surrounding Black Ops 4 at the moment is that it's not actually going to have a campaign. But let's be honest here, does that shit really even matter? This is a discussion that we've had a few times here on the channel, whether or not like the campaign matters with a Call of Duty game. Usually when I mention it, the majority of the comments are people who are saying that yes, it does matter. They do like the campaign, they do play the campaign. But I and maybe like a portion of the community, 50-50, maybe 60-40, I don't know what the split would be exactly, don't really care about the campaign. You might play it just for the achievements, so you feel like you get your money's worth and things like that. But most of us get a Call of Duty game and hop right into multiplayer, whether it be actual multiplayer or zombies. And it's not that I don't play the campaign of Call of Duty games. I've played the entirety of Black Ops 1 and 2. I've played a little bit of 3. I played some Advanced Warfare. Didn't ever own Infinite Warfare. Some of the older ones, I played like World at War's campaign all the way through. Maybe like Modern Warfare 1 and 2. Like, I've played the campaigns of the Call of Duty games, but it's just not something I really care about that much. Now, the talk as to why there's not a campaign for Black Ops 4, or supposedly not a campaign for Black Ops 4, is that it was apparently not going to be finished by the time the game released, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We still have like half a year out until the game is supposed to be released, so why would it not be finished? And shouldn't you have been working on this for like 3 years now? Like, I love Treyarch. They're absolutely, I think, the best at making the Call of Duty games. They're my favorite developer when it comes to like the 3-year cycle Call of Duty games. And it's like, what have y'all been doing for 3 years? Unless like they were working on something else, and then Activision, like, you know, halfway through them developing whatever the other game would have been, Activision was like, you know what, let's do a Black Ops 4, and they had to like scrap it all, because they've done it before. Like, apparently Sledgehammer was working on Advanced Warfare 2, and they had to scrap that because people were hating on the futuristic bullshit, and that's where we got World War II. And that's kind of why World War II is behind a little bit. Like, we just recently were getting shit. It didn't launch with leaderboards, didn't launch with paint jobs and stuff. We just recently got paint jobs. So it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if we find out sometime down the road that it's Activision's fault that like the campaign for Black Ops 4 isn't finished. But like at the same time, I don't understand why you would just scrap it. Like, how far behind are they on the campaign that they don't think that they can complete it within the next 6 months? And without there being a campaign at all for a Call of Duty game, like, why even call it Black Ops 4 at this point? Like, it should just be Call of Duty something else, because that's where the Black Ops name comes from, is the story. Black Ops 1 and 2. 3 wasn't that connected to the previous Call of Duty games, but it was still part of it. It was supposed to be a trilogy. So, like, why even call it Black Ops 4 at this point? You're almost doing that just to boost sales. And the other discussion people are having about Black Ops 4 not having a campaign is, what are they going to do to fill that gap? What, you know, if you're paying $60 for a game, you're supposed to get zombies or whatever type of mode like that, multiplayer, and of course a campaign. So where are you getting your $60 worth? And the other discussion is that they might finally be implementing a Battle Royale mode for Call of Duty. Now, Battle Royale is something that already exists for Call of Duty, but it's specific to CoD Online, which is a game that is specific to only China, so we don't have access to that. But I did a video last year talking about it, rolled some gameplay, whatever the case. We discussed it back then, and the concept seemed kind of cool. It is different from, you know, PUBG. The map's not nearly as fucking big. Obviously, the lobbies are smaller. It's like 18-person lobbies. But you still do your looting, you find your armor, your health, or whatever the case, your ammo. Now, I'm not necessarily against the idea of a Battle Royale mode for Call of Duty. I just don't know how it's going to stack up to stuff like PUBG and Fortnite. Those have much bigger lobbies and much bigger maps, whereas, you know, Call of Duty for the longest time now has had the shittiest servers. We have small lobbies. We have 12-person lobbies, you know, 6v6 depending on the game mode you're in, and it struggles with that. Like, so I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how big the lobbies are going to be. Can we get up to 100 people? I doubt it, because Activision, Treyarch, whoever you want to blame for the shitty servers, we've had shitty servers forever. So in order for them to really, you know, make an impact on the Battle Royale scene, they have to update their servers. They have to have dedicated servers. They have to have bigger lobbies, bigger maps, or it's just not really going to hold up that well. Now, the other discussion about this that I heard from Prestigious Keys video is that this is going to be a separate app on your gaming console, I guess PC as well, you know, PS4, Xbox One, whatever. So, like, whenever you install Black Ops 4, you would then install the Battle Royale thing, and it'd be a separate game entirely from Black Ops 4, and that itself, that app, that game, will be updated throughout time. Like, they'll add new maps, new guns to that, like, for the foreseeable future. And that right there is something the Call of Duty series has lacked for a very long time, is longevity. They're so used to just supporting a game for 1 year, and that's it. We still get updates. You know, Black Ops 3 just recently got an update, especially whenever Black Ops 4 got announced. We got like new calling cards, new like skins and stuff for your characters, whatever. They still support the game even though it's almost 3 years old, but they don't support it like they do, you know, other games get support. Like, we're not getting new maps and stuff for Call of Duty Black Ops 3 in 2018. But the idea of a Call of Duty game that, again, is being supported for the foreseeable future, like years and years potentially, is awesome. That's something we don't have, because you always got to restart. Like, you play the Call of Duty game for a year, you prestige, you do whatever you want to do, and then the new Call of Duty comes out, you drop the one you were playing, you buy the new one, you start back at level 1, you got to start all the way over again. And it is fun, but it also sucks, because it's like all the time you wasted. Because like if you play Call of Duty, like if you're dedicated, you play almost daily, you put days, weeks, months of your life into playing that game just to stop playing it and go on to the next one. And that fucking sucks. And it'd be nice to have a Call of Duty game where I can play it and I know I'm going to be playing it for years to come. So Call of Duty not having a single player, not having a campaign is going to be very interesting to see how that'll turn out exactly. One thing I'm excited to see is if they're not going to have a dedicated single player mode, are they going to dedicate to the multiplayer? Are they going to make the zombies as good as possible? Are they going to make the multiplayer as good as possible? And of course the Battle Royale, if that ends up being a thing. Because regardless of how you feel about the campaign of a Call of Duty game, it doesn't matter. The multiplayer is the selling point. That's where they make their money, through supply drops, through new weapons, through new skins, through new camos or whatever. Like, that's where the money is in the Call of Duty games these days. So regardless of how you feel about the campaigns personally, they don't really matter. There's such a small factor to the game. They are the setting of the game. That's where you get like your Future 6 setting or your World War II setting or whatever. But in the end, they're like 4 or 5 hours. They're so short. They're so minuscule to the importance of the game. And as plenty of other YouTubers have pointed out, people aren't playing the campaign throughout the entire year. There's no replay value there. They don't update the campaign with more missions or quests or whatever you want to call them. Like, you play the campaign, you get it done, and there's really no reason to ever play it again unless you want to play it on like a harder difficulty. The things that I'm curious about are, is this the future of Call of Duty? If Black Ops 4 truly does not have a campaign, is that how every Call of Duty is going to be for the foreseeable future? Are they just never going to have a campaign again? Is it going to be always multiplayer focused? If there is no campaign, does that mean they're going to step up on the multiplayer and the zombies and make them bigger and better than they've ever been? I'm curious to see how the Battle Royale will turn out if it truly does come to the States. I'm intrigued by it. I know there's a lot of hate about the Call of Duty games. Battle Royale itself has been already oversaturated because how popular PUBG and Fortnite are. So, them just riding the coattails of Battle Royale seems kind of scummy. But I'm interested to see how it turns out. And if it truly is a separate app or game on our consoles and our PCs that we can play for years and years to come, I'm intrigued by that, because our Call of Duty games don't really have longevity. You can play them, like pretty much any Call of Duty you could throw into a console or whatever, and you can still play it to this day. It might be full of hackers, it might be terrible and laggy, but you can still play them online. But I want something that's actually dedicated, that's getting constant updates, maps, guns, and everything like that for years and years to come. So if all the things we have discussed in this video are true, I'm on the positive side of things. I'm like 80% on the positive, 80-20 right now, because I don't really care about the campaign of a game. I'm always about the multiplayer. I like Battle Royale if it's done right, so I'm intrigued, at the very least, at the very most, whatever you want to say, I'm intrigued at a Call of Duty Battle Royale game mode. I don't know how it'll turn out. I trust Treyarch. I think they'll do a great job. They've innovated for the series for years. They've added they've done a lot of firsts for the Call of Duty series. I mean, they introduced the Pick 10 system with Black Ops 2, which I think is very staple for the series and the best thing possible, in my opinion, for creative class. And of course, they introduced zombies to Call of Duty, which is like one of the biggest things about Call of Duty. Sometimes some people buy the new Call of Duty just for the zombies mode. So they have a great track record with introducing first to the Call of Duty series. So I trust them with Battle Royale, but of course, it just all remains to be seen. So as always, my dudes, let me know your thoughts below on this topic. I can completely understand if some of you would be upset about the lack of a campaign. Some people love the campaign for Call of Duty games. Again, me personally just don't really care one way or the other. So hopefully you guys, girls, and transgenders went on to enjoy the video. And if you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter at @TheDashingDavid. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
There's no escaping death.
Give me a smile, give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby, or at least less like a